Hey, it's Desiree Stafford. Excited to be talking to you today about the mindset behind high-end sales. This is the stuff that I love to do and I love to teach. I'll probably end up sharing with you a story about how I came to do this later on in the training. But really what I want to talk to you about, what I want to first talk to you about is what it requires of you to be a high-end mentor, because it is certainly not what most people think, all right? And when I say mentor, I'm using that term interchangeably with coach, with expert, catalyst, whatever it is that you call yourself, right? It's very important that, hey, Leslie, how are you? It's very important that you see yourself for what you are, right? Because you are who you believe you are. And when you believe yourself to be a high-end mentor, then the prospects, the clients will show up to reflect that back to you, right? If you don't believe, if you don't see yourself as a high-end mentor, you're going to get people, saying that it's too expensive or they can't afford it or they need to speak with their husband, their dog, their angel before making the decision to hire you, right? So what I'm saying essentially is that you are the cause, right? You're the cause of your experience. So if you see yourself as a high-end mentor, you will then communicate in a way where other people see you as a high-end mentor, all right? So there's a couple of mindset, or there's a couple of things I want you to really be mindful of to actually position yourself this way internally first, and then you can position yourself that way to your audience, right? So, hey, Stacy, how are you? All right, so the first thing is you have to know that you are worthy now. You are worthy of being a high-end mentor right now. It has nothing to do with the amount of money in your bank account. It has nothing to do with, how big your name is, how large your audience is, right? It has nothing to do with any of those things. Oftentimes what we think is, I will be perceived as a high-end mentor when I X, right? We're always waiting for this future date and time before we will give ourselves permission to be who we really believe or who we desire to be, right? So what I'm saying to you is stop waiting, right? It's not out there somewhere. You decide today that you are a high-end mentor, okay? It starts with a decision first. It doesn't happen as a result of things happening or as a result of certain accomplishments, because that's where we get screwed up, right? We think, well, when I accomplish X, Y, Z, then people will see me as this high-end mentor. That's not how it works. You have to see yourself as that first, and then you will then start to see the achievements happen as a result of that, all right? The second thing is you really need to, let me take a look at my notes here, you really need to understand what you're getting paid for, right? This is a huge misconception. It's one of the things that keep a lot of people stuck when they're wanting to raise their fees. You have to understand that you are getting paid to solve problems, all right? You're not getting paid for your time. I stress this because oftentimes a client will come to me and they want to raise their fees, but in addition to raising their fees, what they think they must do is extend the amount of time that they're working with a client. This is something that I used to do this a lot. And I would do it like in this really like sneaky way, where I would think that I wasn't really doing it, but I was. If your program, if it only takes you 3 months to help your clients get a result, then the program should only be 3 months, okay? If it only takes you 6 weeks to get a client results, then your program should only be 6 weeks. Not 6 months, not a year, right? Because you think that you have to give more time in order for people to see that your program is worth whatever you're charging for it. People are paying for you to help them solve their problem. The faster you can help them solve their problem, the more grateful they will be, the more money they will want to pay you, right? Because the whole point of helping them solve their problem is getting them out of pain. If you can get somebody out of pain in 3 months versus a year, get them out of pain in 3 months. They would give you the heaven and earth for that, right? So only let your programs be the amount of time that they need to be in order for the client to get results. Please don't think that if you're going to double your rates, you have to double the amount of time that you have to spend with your clients, all right? Because it's a disservice to you and the client, by the way. All right, the last thing I want you to be mindful of is you must trust yourself to deliver. One of the biggest reasons people don't raise their fees, and I remember being there myself, or they go up and down with their fees, is because you don't always trust yourself to deliver at a higher level. The question comes in, is the person really going to get the result, if I charge higher fees, right? And if you can get people results now at your current fees, why wouldn't you be able to help people get results when you raise your fees, right? You must trust yourself to deliver. So, and when I say trust yourself, what I mean is there could be an opportunity for you to tweak your program, right? There could be an opportunity for you to refine it so that your clients get the results, right? But part of trusting yourself is saying, okay, I know I can deliver this, even if I need support with understanding what I need to shift in my program to make it more effective. I trust myself to get that support. The point is, you must say yes to yourself. And I talked about this earlier in the week. You must say yes to yourself. You must assume that you can do it, even if you need support to do it. Because once you say the first yes, then the next step is, okay, well, if I know that I need help with refining my program to make sure that it can really help my clients get results, I will get that help, right? I will get that help. And I trust myself to get that help, and I trust myself to be able to deliver to my clients. So those are the three things that are really important for you to understand if you want to be a high-end mentor, right? The first thing, like I said before, and I'll welcome everybody. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey, Daniela, how are you? Hey, Lamora, how are you? Okay, Tasha, Regina, awesome. All right, so the first thing is, number one, you are worthy now, all right? Doesn't matter how much is in your bank account, doesn't matter how big your name is, doesn't matter how big your audience is, right? You are worthy of being a high-end mentor now. And again, I'm using the term mentor interchangeably. You could call yourself a coach, you could call yourself, a catalyst, whatever it is, a healer, whatever. The point is, you are worthy of being high-end now, right? Because you already are. The problem is we forget. There's so much conditioning that has, especially for women, right? That kind of conditions us to be really small. We don't talk about our awesomeness. We don't want to be too, what's the word I'm looking for here? We don't want to be too braggadocious, right? Because then we are looked at as, self-centered or not caring about other people, all these kind of things that we want to really avoid, right? And so what I'm saying to you is forget all of that, right? And just know that you are a high-end mentor right now, regardless of what your present reality is showing you, okay? Because in order for you to get to the level that you desire, you have to feel it within now. You have to feel yourself to be that person in order to get to that next level. So if you're always thinking, I'll become a high-end mentor when, I hit $100,000 or I hit $200,000, whatever the number is for you, right? Then you're never going to really get there. You're always going to be questioning yourself and second-guessing yourself. And if you do get there, it's going to be a very strenuous journey. You don't want that. You want to, right in this moment, claim, I am a high-end mentor, right? And charge accordingly, okay? The second thing is you want to make sure that you understand that people are paying you to solve a problem. They are not paying you for your time. So the fastest you can help your clients get results, the better for you and for them, okay? And they'll pay you a lot more money when you can help them get. You're helping them get out of pain faster. You're helping them get on with the rest of their fucking life much faster, right? So please don't drag your programs out if you don't need to. The last thing here is trust yourself to deliver. Right? If you're going to raise your fees and you have any hesitation about whether or not you can actually deliver at a higher price point, then you have to, at that moment, decide to trust yourself. Even if you need support in order to maybe reorganize your program, maybe have somebody take another look at it and help you refine it so that you know that every step in your process is going to help your clients get results. That's fine, but you must trust yourself, right? Don't go into it thinking, well, I can't charge 20K or I can't charge 50K because I don't know if I can deliver at that level. If you have the desire to serve a client and help them get a result, that desire is coming from someplace. That desire is coming from a knowingness within you that has the capacity to deliver. You have to trust that. You have to trust it. One of the things that I'm really a proponent of is rising to the occasion. Right? Don't lower your goals. Don't lower your ambition to meet where you think you are. You should grow to rise to the occasion, right? If you trust yourself to do that, then there is no problem with you commanding a higher fee because you know you'll be able to deliver, even if you need support to help you do that. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to just be honest here. I'm trying to keep these videos like 10 minutes. And it never happens. I just keep talking. So if anyone has any questions, any feedback, anything, let me know if this is making sense to you. Let me know if it's resonating with you. Let me know if you need me to clarify something for you, right? Because that's what I'm here for. So let me just go back and welcome people that I may have missed. I don't know if I said, hey, Tasha, but hey, how are you, by the way? I'd love an update on where you are. Nicole, Lamora, Beth. All right, cool. Hey, Shariq, how are you? Any questions about what I have shared? Any comments? Anything that I can clarify for you? I'm just laughing at myself. I love teaching, if you guys were not aware. And so one of the things that I'm working on doing is scaling back how much I teach for a couple of different reasons. One, because I can sometimes overgive and I'm watching myself on that. And two, I want to be able to take these videos and share them on other platforms, and some platforms have restrictions in terms of the length of the video, and I keep blowing my goals, so I'm going to work on this. Something else I want to share with you today, while you guys are waiting to formulate your questions or let me know what's going on for you, what I really want to share with you about why I do what I do. You know, there's lots of different things that led me into this place of being a high-end mentor. And one of them was because, you know, I didn't feel very high-end. I was in a place in my life where I felt like I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave, and receiving was so uncomfortable for me. I talked about this yesterday in yesterday's live stream as well. Receiving was so very uncomfortable for me. And what was interesting was, you know, the knowledge I have, and I think this is important for all of you who are sometimes struggling with feeling like a fraud or feeling like you're worthy of it and all that kind of jazz, you know, the knowledge I had was high level, but I couldn't see that. I was so convinced that I wasn't smart enough, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy enough. Sometimes I thought that I was just too much, right? Like, and so I had to really keep my ceiling low in order to stay welcomed, in order to, when I say welcome, I mean like loved, likable, all of those kind of things. And it really fucked me up in the head for a long time. And then I had to decide, how was I going to play this game? Like, how was I wanting to, you know, show up in my world? Because, you know, even though I didn't feel very high end, my desire always was high end. I always liked like expensive cars and beautiful homes and lavish trips. Like, I love that stuff. And I realized that telling myself that I wasn't high end and denying that stuff was really denying a huge part of myself. And so I had to decide, was I going to continue to deny who I really was, the part of me that really wanted to come out, or was I going to continue to suppress it because it didn't fit within, you know, it didn't fit within how other people saw me and how I even really saw myself. Because I grew up being very practical, being very frugal. You know, it took me, I think I had a hand-me-down couch for like 30 years before I finally decided to go and buy my own shit, right? Because what I would do I would take every dime that I made and I would invest it, or I would, you know, put it directly into my business, or I'd put it into stocks or retirement or something. But the point was, I couldn't have it, right? Not now. It was always being pushed off to the side. I was holding it for later, but I wasn't worthy of it now. And it led to me living a really small life, a very unfulfilled life, where I was constantly feeling frustrated because I would work really hard, but I wasn't really seeing the fruits of my labor. Yeah, the money would be in the bank or be in another place, and it would be for my own good. But as an individual, as a person, as a woman, I wasn't really experiencing it. And so I had to make a decision to change. And I'll be honest with you, it was challenging for me because there were so many beliefs that I was bumping up against. And oftentimes I was doing it on my own. Many times I had mentors, but I didn't have mentors who really, in my opinion, who I felt really understood what my struggle was or what I needed. And I didn't really understand what I needed, to be quite honest, to even help them help me. But it was a very painful experience until I finally just decided, listen, I'm a high-end mentor. This is who I am. This is really who I am. It's not the watered down version that I think I need to present in order to be lovable, in order to be liked, in order to have people want to be around me, right? Because some of you may already know this from your own personal experience, that when you really show up as yourself, when you are completely honoring yourself as an individual, especially as a woman, sometimes it's not welcomed. There will be people who feel intimidated. There will be people who feel triggered and all that kind of jazz. And if you don't have a really strong sense of self, it's very easy for you to think that there's something wrong with you, to either think that you're not enough or you're too much, right? And so when I started to really pay attention to how I was choosing to respond to other people, instead of really just deciding to live my life for myself, it really helped me step into being a high-end mentor. So I hope that's helpful to some of you who, you know, are struggling with claiming that you're a high-end mentor right now, right? You're still almost waiting for someone else to say that you're high-end, right? You're waiting for some type of external validation instead of validating yourself, instead of anointing yourself, right? So I hope that story was helpful to some of you. Okay, cool. So Nicole says, how can I help someone see the value of the high end for the smaller amount of time? So you focus on the problem, Nicole. You focus on the problem that you're helping them solve, right? It is not about, the only person that the time matters to is you, right? Which tells me that your sense of worth and value is wrapped up in the amount of time, or it's wrapped up in what you feel like you're giving to your clients, and in your, the way that this question is worded to me, it indicates that you feel that time is the value that you offer, but it is not. The value that you offer is the solution to their problem, all right? If that's not clear, ask me again. Stacy says, could you speak about outcomes for programs, energetic versus tangible? Well, be more specific, like, tell me what you do, Stacy. I don't remember what you do. If you tell me what you do, I can probably guide you more directly like that. If you're talking about like benefits of the program, then definitely you can talk about energetic. But there has to be some type of tangible outcome to your programs. But if you tell me more about what you do, I might be able to guide you better. Okay, Nicole says, how did you shift that? How did I shift what? Let me know what your question is. Hey, Allie, how are you? Cherie, how are you? Okay. So Tasha says, I'm good. Okay, you've decided to take what you've been doing for your clients and apply it to a slightly wider market. I am going to work with women who are where I was 3 years ago, burnt out. Okay, perfect. So you're more clear in terms of who you're serving. That's awesome. Hey, Janelle, how are you? Okay, cool. So Nicole says, how did you choose to own your sense of worth and not care what other people say? For me, it was a process. But ultimately, what it came down to was the pain that I was feeling. This is probably going to lead off into a slightly different topic, but oftentimes we suppress our emotions. We kind of like plant a smile on our face. We like move through life going through the motions, and we're not really feeling. And when I stop to feel, excuse me for 1 second here, got an eyelash in my eye. When I stop to feel, that's really, it was palpable. It was like, whoa, I am literally, like, there's been a couple of things that have happened in my life that have been, some have been traumatic, right? And when I stopped to really think about my experiences and, you know, why I felt like I was working so hard and not getting to my desired goal, you know, I had to really stop and think about how that made me feel, right? It wasn't just about achieving XYZ. It was about me growing into the woman that I wanted to be. And what I realized was that I wasn't doing that. And the pain associated with that for me was so intense that something had to be done. And so one of the things that I remember doing was really thinking about, well, why would I make other people's opinion of me more important than my opinion of myself, more important than me giving myself permission to live the life that I wanted, more important than me pursuing the desires that I had, right? And what it really came down to, and I think I talked about this yesterday about the payoff, right? What it came down to was, you know, my payoff, the reason why I was willing to continue to do that was because on some level, I thought other people's opinions of me mattered more than my own did. It mattered more than me trusting myself, than me taking better care of myself, all of those kind of things. And when I realized that, and like, I'm a very independent woman, and you know, that is in such contrast to how I saw myself, and the feelings associated with that, like how I was really letting myself down. That's when I made the choice to stop allowing other people's opinions of me to be more important than what I think about myself and how I feel about myself. I hope that's clear. If it's not, ask me and I'll clarify some more. All right, so Nicole also says, is there a difference between high-level mentor versus coach? No. Well, okay, so yes and no. What I said at the beginning of this live stream is that I'm using the term mentor interchangeably with coach, with healer, with expert, whatever, catalyst, whatever it is that you call yourself, because Everyone has different names for what they do, right? However, there is a difference between a mentor and a coach, right? A mentor is someone who teaches. A mentor is someone who, you know, let's say, for example, you know, they developed a 5-step process to do X, Y, Z. They're going to teach you that exact 5-step process. A coach is different. A coach is someone who will extract the genius out of you, right? Because a coach is someone who knows that you already have your answers, but they will ask you the right questions so that you allow those answers to come out of you, right? So I happen to be both a coach and a mentor. So I happen to be someone who teaches you exactly what I've done. I'm also someone who coaches it out of you, right? So that's the difference. Okay. So Stacy says, so I guess it's what you do, Stacy. You help people reveal and feel confident in their gifts, deepen relationships, own their biggest mission in the world by releasing old patterns, beliefs. You teach 6 pillars. Okay, great. So that's a lot of stuff that you do, right? What is the big outcome? Like, what is all of this in service to? For example, if you help them feel confident in their gifts, you help them deepen their relationships, you help them own their bigger mission, what is all that in service to, right? From what I'm reading, you could be a relationship coach, you could be a business coach, you could be a spiritual catalyst. Like, I'm not really sure what you do. So what I would advise you to do is get really specific in terms of the one big outcome, the one big promise. It doesn't mean that your work doesn't touch other areas of their lives, right? Your work is transformational, so it will impact other areas of their lives, but you want to have one big thing that you focus on, because that's how you'll be able to position yourself, right? Right now, I don't know how, like, there's so much going on. There's no category that I would put you in. So you want to make sure that people understand, and this is not about putting yourself in a box, right? But positioning is important. It is important for people to know, how do I want to say this? It is important that you are communicating in such a way that people have a clear understanding of what it is that you do. And from what I'm reading, it's not clear to me exactly what you do. Does that make sense? That'll make your marketing much more laser focused, and it will be more powerful so that people, they get it and they want to work with you. All right, cool. Sazu, stopping to feel, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I almost went off on a different tangent with that, because for those of you who are really busy, for those of you who feel like you're always burnt out, you're always exhausted, and you're still not getting the results that you want, part of your payoff in being busy all of the time is not allowing yourself to feel, right? It is not allow, and oftentimes we don't want to feel because sometimes we feel like our feelings are overwhelming, especially if we've conditioned ourselves to not feel them for so long, or if they will take us back to a time in our life when we experienced trauma, right? But it is not healthy to not feel. Your feelings are an indication for, or an indicator of your closeness to your desires, right? And if you're not allowing yourself to feel and to allow those feelings to be fluid, whether you perceive them to be positive or negative, whether they're feelings of joy and excitement or feelings of anger and rage, right? They're all good. So you have to stop bottling them and allow them to surface. That's how you create more intimacy in your relationships. It's how you have more connection with yourself. It is how you can attract more of the right clients. So your feelings are very important. So please don't bottle them up. And so what I'm also getting on a soapbox about is stop allowing yourself to be so busy and to be so worn down and burnt out that you are able to continue to ignore how you feel, okay? All right, I'm gonna go. If no one has any other questions, I'm gonna go, because otherwise I'll keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. So for those of you who have been here, I am so grateful that you're here and that my message is resonating with you, and hopefully it's providing you with a lot of value. If you would like some support with getting to your next level, with really seeing yourself as a high-end mentor, creating those packages, understanding how to market them to attract the right clients and convert those clients, then reach out to me. Go to DesireeStafford.com/session to get yourself signed up for a complimentary chat with me. I do want to stress, this is an invitation to have a conversation. It will not become a sales call unless we both think that it might be a fit for us to work together. It's very important that I communicate that I don't work with just anybody, right? Neither should you. So don't think that it's an obligation, but if you feel the call to talk to me about how we can move your business forward, then reach out, all right? Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.